Hi, folks, and welcome to the Mike Lopez Show. I'm your host, ACMike. We'll bring you all things Atlantic City, politics, sports, dining, entertainment, and much more. On tonight's show, we'll be talking all about entertainment. First up, Taylor Tote, an award-winning singer-songwriter who grew up in Tinton Falls, New Jersey. After that, we'll be chatting with local and global singer, songwriter, and actor Lovari. We'll wrap up the show with my friend Frank Morano, an Atlantic City enthusiast, and the host of The Other Side of Midnight on 77 WABC News Talk Radio, New York City. Stick around. We'll be right back with our first guest. See you soon. Hey, folks, welcome back to the show. AC Mike here, your host for tonight's show and every show. Got a special guest tonight, friend of mine, met many, many moons ago. You couldn't tell by how young she looks, but she's a professional songstress, actor, and so many other things. Taylor Tote, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here again.
Yeah, listen, Taylor's a frequent guest, whether it's on our WOND radio show or here at Stockton University in collaboration we're doing with the ACMike. Listen, Taylor, let the folks know who you are, and, how you got started into this passion of singing and acting and that whole thing in entertainment, please.
Yeah, well, so how I got started in it is definitely a loaded question, definitely has a bit of history there. I am a singer-songwriter. I grew up in Tinton Falls, New Jersey. I now am living in Manhattan. I really started, I never, people always ask me this, and I don't really have like a vivid memory of like when I started doing it. I was just always doing it. As a kid, I was an only child for quite some time. So I was like bored singing songs, putting on shows for my parents, putting on shows for my family and their friends, and kind of doing stuff with my friends, putting on performances at recess during school. So like, that's something that I just always did, something I've always wanted to do. Nothing really like inspired me to do it. I just like always wanted to be in front of people. I grew up, I was a cheerleader, I was a gymnast, like you said, an actress. So I was just always in the spotlight somehow. And I just thrive in it. I got a little bit older and of course got into high school. I started taking vocal lessons. I did all the plays, all the musicals. And then I joined a rock cover band when I was 17. And that kind of got me really into the Asbury Park music scene. And then after that, I started my own band, my original Taylor Tote band. And we did things around the country. We went to NAMM in Nashville, NAMM in California. We performed at Penn State Thon. We did a bunch of different things, conventions out in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, things out in Philly, things out in Delaware, which was really awesome. We had a really great run there for a while. And then I toured 2019 summer with Remember Jones. I did background vocals, choreography, and a lot of lead stuff with them. We did a whole nationwide tour throughout the summer of 2019 and also a winter tour in 2020. Which kind of ended in good timing before the pandemic really got serious and hit. So now I'm kind of doing my own music. Again, I'm entering more into the pop R&B world. I'm really excited about it and for what's to come with that.
And that's awesome when you talk about the Asbury Park scene. They're invading here in Atlantic City. And I mean that in a good way. Just that the more music, the better we are here. They're doing a great job out there. Beret's one of the sites, Pat Fasano doing it up at Beret AC. Music all the time with North Step Productions. Listen, we got to meet a few years ago back at Garden State Film Festival. And it's always one of the things I always love bringing up with you. Mm-hmm. And just say it was an amazing piece. And just touch on that just a little bit, because I still believe that that's something that people need to see as we speak today.
Yes, absolutely. I love that you bring this up too, because it's something that's like really close to my heart. So I'm at ACMike at the Garden State Film Festival because I wrote a song for pediatric cancer, raising awareness, raising funds in collaboration with Infinite Love for Kids Fighting Cancer. I wrote the song with the founders' daughters, Natalie and Hannah Gore-Segner. Natalie is a childhood cancer survivor. And her sister Hannah shaved her head every year in honor of kids who fight that. So I really wanted to write a song with them. I wanted to collaborate with them. And we came up with Fighter. It was something that was just like for fun. I knew that they were really into music, and I was watching them one day and I was like, hey, why don't we write a song? And it kind of just turned into something that ended up being like a really great thing for awareness. It's been featured in People magazine. Joan London gave it a really awesome shout out. Tracy Stewart. So it's definitely circulated a lot. It's up on my YouTube channel, Taylor Tote Music, or you can find it on Infinite Love for Kids Fighting Cancer's Facebook page. And it's got a lot of kind of harsh truths and shines a really big light on pediatric cancer. And all the funds that are raised from that song and from the video definitely go straight towards the cause. So you are directly supporting.
Definitely awesome, folks. Make sure you check out Fighter by Taylor Tote. So Taylor, we don't have a whole lot of time, but talk to us about some of the upcoming events you have and where, and you can give the dates also. And we're also going to post them up here during this interview as it gets put together.
Yeah, sure. So as of right now, I know that I am doing a really big show with Remember Jones. We are honoring the late Meatloaf. We are doing the whole entire Bad Out of Hell album. That'll be happening in Deal, New Jersey at the Axelrod Performing Arts Center on April 29th, 30th, and May 1st. So that's going to be really awesome. Really, really excited to be a part of that. And then any of my other dates, if you happen to be in Manhattan or the Monmouth County area, all of my dates are posted up on my website, taylortote.com, and as well as my social media at Tote and my Facebook, Taylor Tote Music. So you could definitely find all my other dates there as well.
Love it. And we'll definitely post that up as we do this interview. Listen, tell us a little bit about got a t-shirt coming out, Vitamin T. What's all that about?
Yeah, so they've launched officially, so you can go on my website and you can buy them. I really wanted to do something cool and different. My song Multivitamin came out on my birthday, which was June 18th. And I really just it's like a self-love, like fun pop song, just about like doing the things you got to do to make yourself feel good and to honor yourself. We don't always need other people to validate us. You know, you can definitely still do things for yourself and validate yourself. And I kind of use multivitamin as like a metaphorical term, but really like if taking care of yourself is taking real multivitamin, of course, you know, it's so it can be taken as a metaphor, definitely literally. And I feel like I had some really awesome comments come through as I was releasing multivitamin, and people were like, vitamin T, I need my dose of vitamin T. And I was like, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, I had to use that. So I really wanted a fun t-shirt, my vitamin t-shirts, you know, to come out, and something that was bright, vibrant, fun. I was thinking about doing like a limited edition thing, but if they end up selling really well and people really want them, then I'll totally get some more made and we'll just keep selling them. So if anyone wants to buy them, they are up on my website, taylortote.com. They look awesome.
Make sure you check it out. Hey, so look, we got about a minute. It's going to be the last word to you. Tell us a little bit about your video shoot and whatever else you want to tell the viewers as we go on out.
Yes. So I do have a single coming out very soon. It is something that it's been a long time coming. I initially wanted to release it in September. This is a song I wrote last June. I believe it was like June 1st. My producer, Russell Hayden, and I wrote it, recorded it in a day. We were so excited about it. And we wanted to release it right away, but we had all this other music and other singles that we were working on at the time. So we couldn't release it. And then September came around so quickly. And I was like, I really want to honor this. I want to be excited about it, and I want to promote it the right way. And I want other people to get excited about it. And I don't want it to get lost in the mix. So it's a song that I feel very strongly about. I think it's really catchy. I think it's like one of my favorite things I've done so far. And we are hopefully shooting a music video in the early April. We're aiming for early April right now for shooting. So definitely keep your eye out for that. I'm aiming for beginning a summer release, and it's going to be really awesome.
So we'll definitely be checking that out, Taylor. You'll stay in touch with us. We'll have you back sometime in the summer or early fall. Listen, folks, make sure you check out Taylor. Thank you so much for joining us. Folks, stay right where you're at. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, welcome back to the Mike Lopez Show. I'm your host, AC Mike. Special guest here, as I say all the time, because they all are special. It's you, the viewer, the guest, and the listener on radio that brings the Mike Lopez Show to life. And listen, Lovari, welcome to the show. Introduce yourself and let the folks know a little bit about you,
Thank you,
man.
Mike. What's up, Lovari? Huge fan of Mike Lopez and Mike Lopez Show.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Mike.
Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get where you are? And we'll touch on some of your projects that you're on right now.
Absolutely. So I was actually born and raised in Queens, but I am an Atlantic City resident.
My man.
I'm proud and happy about that.
Right.
It took me a long time to get my Billboard charting single. I've been in the game for almost 15 years. And I had songs chart on iTunes and MTV, and I was really happy about that. But my number one goal in life is to be on the Billboard chart. And it finally happened in 2019 with my song No Day Like Today, duet with Adam Barta featuring Electropoint. And the music video features 3 of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Margaret Josephs, Dolores Catania, and Marge Sr., and also Super Joe, Marge's husband.
Listen, that's awesome. I mean, how can you go wrong with the Real Housewives of New Jersey? Big show. What was that like shooting, and where did you shoot?
Man, they are amazing people, amazing giving people. So we actually shot it in Englewood, New Jersey at a restaurant that they frequent. And it was Pride weekend. So, all of those ladies were booked for events. I was booked for events. Adam was booked for events. And they all took their time out to show up, do this. It was great. It was fun. It was quick. And it was, I really have nothing like, gossipy to say about it. It was just very giving ladies, professional, courteous, and yeah, it was probably the easiest music video shoot I've ever had.
That's amazing. Yeah, because you hear these horror shows and different type things that go on at different sets, and when we talk about horror, we're going to touch on some of your horror also. So, Lovari, where did this passion for singing came and acting and whatnot? And we'll talk about the acting. Like I said, where did that passion come from?
I always had it. I remember like 3 years old, just like singing Pinocchio, When You Wish Upon a Star, and listening to Donna Summer and the Bee Gees and the Village People. And awesome. I just always was singing all the time.
And your first time in front of a crowd?
In front of a crowd, probably in the third grade. When I was just singing from my class, and then it kind of hit me because I was singing by myself in front of my class, and my teacher, Mrs. Morrissey, she just like pushed it in there. I just felt something in me say, okay, this is good.
That click, right? So hey man, so you're here in Atlantic City doing a lot of great things with celebrity boxing, movies and whatnot. We're going to touch on one of them real quick, though. Yeah. Keep It Moving. You have a single out right now.
Yes, I do.
Tell us a little bit about it and its genre and where it goes to and what it hits.
Yeah, so Keep It Moving, Cancel Culture is a very political song, and it can't be taken as a love song. Like once you hear the lyrics, you know what it's about. Right. And it's basically about opposing viewpoints and how we live in America. And I feel like a lot of McCarthyism is going on. McCarthyism in the 1950s, for our younger viewers out there, was if you didn't agree with the popular opinion of what's going on, you were said, oh, well, you're not patriotic, you're a communist, things of that nature. And I feel that's what's going on now. You know what I mean? With everything in the world, whether you are for vaccinations, anti-vax, if you were pro-Trump, against Trump, but it's like if you don't side with the popular opinion, you're bullied, you're shut out, you're put to pasture, you're canceled, so to speak. You know what I mean? And so that's what the song is about.
And with the subject matter, I mean, I'm sure it's moving on the charts and whatnot. So we had to have you on. We had you on a few months ago on the radio, and I think I was one of the first, or maybe New Jersey, to be able to. It was
the first in New Jersey that played it. Yes,
that's cool. So and we'll put that up where they can find it. And as we move on, you got that going on right now. Talk to us a little bit about your acting career, because you're totally into horror. So I want to let you touch on it.
So I love horror. Horror has always been my favorite genre. And my favorite series growing up was Friday the 13th. My favorite villain has always been Jason. And my favorite horror heroine was always Linnea Quigley. And ironically, I am now in several films with both Linnea Quigley and Ari Lehman. The Barn Part 2, I have a supporting role, directed by Justin Seaman. And Zombie Games, directed by Linnea Quigley. So those are coming out really soon. And I'm also in Terror Tunes Part 4. That's this cult horror series called Terror Tunes Part 4, directed by Joe Castro. Appetite for Sin, a female vampire movie directed by Matthew Vinaha. And Thrust, which is a really crazy cult apocalyptic Peace, directed by Victor Bonacore. And also Compatible, directed by Joseph Kelly. I forgot about that when I just got done completing that one, Compatible with Joseph Kelly. And Steven Escobar also for Terror Tunes Part 4. Joe Castro and Steven Escobar.
Wepa, I hear a lot of Spanish names in there, whether produced, whatnot. So like with all these movies going on, I mean, where do you find time? How do you do this schedule? Who's working with you? Whether it's, you're Keep It Moving, the singles, and these different movies, and as we're talking to the arts and humanities are working on this show for us. They do such a great job over there at Stockton University. Give them some insight about, how to and what to get involved in, because there's so many things. You're in front of the camera, but you see what goes on behind the scenes.
Absolutely. I mean, I gotta say this, man. A lot of what I do is myself. You know what I mean? Like it's all me. Like just going out there, just like
gotta hustle,
talking to people, hustling, exactly, and then just being humble, being respectful, knowing that people have time. Like don't violate people's time too much. For every one of me, there's 100 other people in one city block alone that want the opportunity. Right. So if I'm interested in something, I try to limit it to 30 seconds. Do this. Don't expound too much on things. Cut and dry. This is what I have to offer. Here's my reel, etc. And be grateful, be gracious that they're even listening.
Right. And
you know what I mean?
Students out there at Stockton University and other universities. Listen, there's some great advice right there. Listen, so you're in Atlantic City now.
Yes.
We're going to talk about what your favorite Atlantic City story is quickly. But, tell us a little bit about the Jerry Springer thing you got going on, and then touch into celebrity boxing.
Sure. So I'll be on Judge Jerry, an episode
Judge Jerry,
Lovari versus Lady Clover Honey. Judge Jerry Springer, May 5th, 5/5.
Got it.
It's going to be the episode. It was really fun. Of course, I'm not going to tell you whether I won or lost, but it was just great. Jerry has judicial things.
That's right.
And it was very interesting. So I'm really excited about that. May 5th. I sued because there was a show that I was on and it was horrible lighting, and it just made me look bad. I hope this lighting is good. I would never sue you though, ACMike. And celebrity boxing, March 26th in Atlantic City. I'm actually not performing this time. I know I always do. But this time I'm going to be walking out in the ring, doing a little quick emceeing for Hazel Roche.
Nice.
One of my best friends. He is fighting Albie Shore, and huge shout out to Damien Feldman and the Celebrity Boxing family. I am also in the Celebrity Boxing bio about Damien, the 16-Minute Man, which is coming out March 12th, and that's debuting right outside of Philadelphia. So I'm super excited about that. Yes.
Love it. I mean, Damien's a friend of mine, and we're going to get him on this show. And what he's doing with celebrity boxing is amazing, and his story is amazing. Restorative narrative getting broke down a little bit and coming into it. So very quickly, we got about a minute left. Give us an Atlantic City story. Remember, PG here.
Okay, they're all PG. They're great. I'm cheating. I'm gonna do two. First one, co-hosting Cirque du Risque at Showboat. That was amazing.
Awesome.
And then for real, and you can vouch for this. When I met you in person, because I was fanboying over him, and I was and I had to be humble though, but I saw he wasn't following me, and I went up to him and I think you know who I was, but I was like, but you don't follow me, blah, blah. And then he followed me, and I was bragging to everybody that ACMike is now following me. That's my favorite Atlantic City story. And one more thing, March 6th, Atlantic City Gambits, the basketball team, I will be singing the national anthem.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just found that out yesterday. So
that's
March
awesome.
6th at the Atlantic City Gambits.
That's all. Lovari, listen, we appreciate you coming to the show. You bring nothing but energy, light on to Atlantic City. We always say that Atlantic City is a gem. And listen, what it has, it's here. 25 to 30 million people a year coming. We're so glad that you're one of them, and you make it our home, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's
folks, stay right where you're at. We'll be right back.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the Mike Lopez Show. I'm your host, ACMike. Listen, we got a special guest here, friend of mine, put me on radio, so to speak. I know we're on TV. You got to look at this face. But our friend, Frank Morano. Frank, welcome to the Mike Lopez Show here at Stockton University.
Mike, it is great to be here. You know what a fan I am of yours, both in real life, on radio, on television, on the internet, and in all the forms in which you're mechanically, digitally, and electronically reproduced. It's great for me to see you being such a great advocate for the people of Atlantic City. And it's a real benefit to the people of Atlantic City that they get to not only see you and watch you. And my compliments to the good folks over at Stockton for making this TV show possible.
Listen, so thank you for the kind words, and Stockton makes it happen. It makes it go here. Listen, Frank Morano and his friend Joe Piscopo, as I always say, it were the first folks that gave me a little shout on the radio about 6 or 7 years ago, doing little reports from Atlantic City with another station out there in New York City, 970 The Answer. And our friend Frank now worked those about a decade with our friend Joe. And now the other side of midnight. 77 WABC, New York City. But before we get to that, Frank, you have an addition to your family. Actually, since the last time we spoke, I want to say the first segment of shows that we put together here at 1090 Comcast Stockton University. Tell us how that's been, the baby, beautiful. I see some pictures and whatnot. Fill us in, please.
Well, so my wife Rachel and I are over the moon. She gave birth on Thanksgiving to our son Carmine, and I cannot wait to get him down to the Atlantic City Boardwalk to take him for his first trip to the Lucky Snake video arcade. He's still working on formulating speech and keeping his baby formula down without spitting up the entire bottle. So we might be a little bit farther away from a trip to the Lucky Snake arcade than I'd like, but he's keeping us busy. He's keeping us up, but we wouldn't trade it for anything. He's wonderful, and we're both very, very lucky, both very blessed. Thankful that he's healthy, and he's just a joy to be around.
Now, Frank, we appreciate that. Now, and you have a bit of a strange.
I want to try and make a deal with the folks at Stockton, see if I can prepay his tuition now at the rate that tuition is going up, in the hopes that he wants to go to Stockton.
Could you imagine that? Him sitting here on the boardwalk down Albany Avenue with a dorm room, whatnot? I think you'd be there more than he would.
I think you're probably right. If he has his father's hereditary tendencies when it comes to skipping out on class, I think you're certainly right.
Dr. Kesselman, are you listening, President Kesselman? So we'll get back to that on a little bit. So listen, with your show, The Other Side of Midnight, great ratings. We're going to talk about that in a minute or two. But tell us about that and how it ties in with the baby and all that.
So I'm on from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. So I usually leave my home around 10 p.m. So it does put my wife in a tough position in that she's basically forced to shoulder during the week the whole evening feeding, crying, changing schedules single-handedly. So when I get home around 6:30, 7 o'clock, I try to look after our son and give her a few hours of relief. It's gotten even more challenging now that she's gone back to work. Thankfully, she is working from home, which does give us a little bit more flexibility. But the lucky thing for me, though, is I've been blessed with an endless amount of radio content. If there is ever a slow day, Mike, when you're on the radio or on TV and you're not sure what to do, you just have to ask, when it comes to parenting or anything related to child rearing, should I blank or should I blank? And you will watch the phones light up. There's an hour worth of a program right there. And it could be anything. Should we breastfeed or use baby formula? Boom, there's an hour. Should we spank? Should we not spank? Boom, that's 2 hours. Forget about it. Any possible parenting issue, it's just gold on the radio. And he's been very good, my son, in terms of allowing me to record him crying to use as a regular radio sound effect on WABC. So I hope your listeners will check it out. We do a lot of AC talk, but we talk about a wide variety of issues, not just parenting, not just Atlantic City, but political issues, entertainment issues, foreign policy, space, you name it. We cover it. And we have a lot of fun in the meantime, as you know.
Listen, we do have so much going on in this world, let alone in our homes and our states and whatnot. But it had to make you happy that you had another whole new broad spectrum of Q&A and investigate. You know, that's awesome. I didn't even think of it.
No, absolutely. I couldn't be luckier. And not only am I happy to have a son, but he's an endless supply of radio content. And I suspect as he learns how to start speaking, then and as he starts crawling, he'll be in even more of a fount of terrific radio content.
So Frankie, listen, we're going to have more of that on the next episode we have together segment. But talk to us a little bit. We got about 3 minutes for this interview. Talk to us about your show. what you do and how folks can get tied into it, because you do. Although you're in New York City, you're all over the world, whether it's the internet or whatnot, but you have a large audience from our area out here in Jersey, South Jersey.
Well, that's true. Now, every week, truth is, we do it at least more than once a week, but at least once a week, we do a half hour dedicated to the things that are happening in Atlantic City. Could be anything. Could be about gambling, could be about nightlife, could be about the entertainment that's out there, could be about the politics, could be about anything. I had our friend David Pena on with an astrologer the other day, talking about astrology in Atlantic City. So WABC 770 AM is one of the most powerful signals in America, especially at night. So folks in South Jersey, you tune your radio to 770 AM, you'll hear us. But the nice thing now is, especially young people, and I'm sure you know, Mike, that fewer and fewer people under the age of 30 even know what a radio is. I mentioned the word radio. I say I work in radio to a young person. They think I'm almost the equivalent of a telegraph operator, and they have no idea what that is. But everybody can listen by going to wabcradio.com. Again, I'm on from 1 to 5, or on their smartphone. Now, what's this show all about? The show's about anything. Mike, when you and I are having lunch at a great Atlantic City restaurant or something, or walking on the boardwalk, the same sort of issues that we talk about are the same sort of issues that I might talk about on the radio. Could be relationships, parenting, weight loss, politics, entertainment, business, sports, you name it. We look, the bottom line is we got 4 hours to fill. The good thing is we fill those 4 hours with as wide a variety of subjects as you can possibly imagine. We take listener calls from all walks of life, and we like to have some fun, because while there are a lot of serious issues going on in the world, if you take them too seriously, you get depressed. So we try and approach a lot of these subjects with a certain degree of levity that maybe is not present on a lot of aspects of AM talk radio.
And I love it, Frankie. Listen, we're about out of time here, but I just want to let folks know, make sure you tune in. We'll put the graphics up with this interview. Frankie's got a great show. Anytime I've ever tuned it in, I'm amazed by the callers. First of all, I know it's New York and all that, but they're probably, you got a full board each and every hour of your show. So
we're very blessed to have a wide audience all over the country, especially in Atlantic City, especially in South Jersey. And I'm very much looking forward to your next appearance on the show, Mike.
So thank you so much. We're going to be talking to Frank again as the summer gets into effect here in 2022. Frankie, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you, my friend.
Right where you're at. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, it's our belief here at the Mike Lopez Show that you, the viewers, and our guests bring the show to life. Thanks to each and every one of you for joining us. Special thanks to Stockton University and all tonight's guests. To learn more about ACMike, follow me on Facebook at Mike Lopez, ACMike, Live, Work, Play, and Instagram at ACMikeNJ. Remember, folks, always live, work, play, AC. I'll see you on the 48.